Well, nothing much to incrementally talk about with the market. So it's absolutely quiet. Stocks doing well, such as Yes Bank, IndusInd, Sun, India Built Housing, Coal India, IOC. But let's shift focus on a big issue which has in fact concerned the market, and you can see the impact on specific stocks, good as well as bad. In the past few weeks, promoter pledges have been on the rise. We have Nimesh and Mangalam with us to tell us which are the companies with very high pledges and which have intended to in fact take some action as well. While Mangalam will talk about companies that have already taken some action, Nimesh is going to tell you more about the companies with the high pledge. Nimesh, over to you.
Hi, Ekta. So, this has been a story which has been playing out for the last one and a half months, where a lot of stocks got hammered big time on the back of the fact that a lot of the promoter holding is pledged. In fact, in many instances, almost 100% or 98% of the pledge of the shares are pledged by the promoters. I just want to run the list of first companies where the pledge is very high from the promoters. If you look at CG Power, 100% is pledged. Sterlite Technologies, 96% pledged. Jindal Stainless Hisar, Reliance Infra, Max Financials, Coffee Day, Apollo Hospital. All of these stocks where you've seen the pledges anywhere between 75 to 100%. And if you look at the stock price reactions as well, most of the stocks have got hammered down. Most of them, I mean, many of the stocks are around 50, 60, 70% as well from the peak levels, purely on the fact that there are concerns about this pledge shares getting sold into the market. So this is one list where the promoter pledge is very high. It's a long list, but we just highlighted some of the biggest names where the pledges are very high. So this is one a list of stocks to watch out for. Then we looked at some of the companies where some bit of action has been announced. It's not been done yet, but at least there is an intent from some of the promoters to deleverage the balance sheet and to sell or to bring down the pledge holdings in future. The first of the lot is Z Group. If you look at in the last 1 month, they've been very vocal about looking to sell some of their silver assets, including Z Entertainment, including Dish TV, and look to deleverage the balance sheet and bring down the pledge holdings. So this is one company which has been very vocal about it. If you look at even Apollo Hospitals, that would be the second stock to watch out for. Even there, Ekta, you also interviewed the management a few days back, and the promoter was very vocal about the fact that they are looking to sell their insurance business, and in the next two quarters from now, they want to bring down the pledge holding by at least 50%. So that's another company which has shown the intent of bringing down the promoter pledge shares. There are a few more companies as well who are actually looking to or at least intended to do something with regards to the pledge shares. But Mangalam will run through the list of companies where actually actions have been taken. So Mangalam, if you can just run through the companies where they have actually shown the intent and done the action in the market.
Absolutely. Like you said, a lot of the promoters are looking to sell their family silver. Over the last few months, we've seen a lot of companies who've actually gone ahead and sold their family silver, and this is to reduce the pledge that there is in their company's businesses. So we start with Imami. That was really the one that actually went ahead and sold. So as of December 2018, the promoter's stake stood at around 72.7%, of which 47.5% was pledged. And then there were liquidity concerns, debt concerns at the group level. On Feb 18th, the promoters came out and said they will sell 10% of their stake, and the fact that they're doing this to reduce the pledge on the group company. The street rewarded that. The next day, the stock, while it fell to about 361 from levels of 383, it recovered 13% from there, moved from 361 to 410 as the overhang went away, and the street believed that, the promoters gone ahead and done the right thing. Another company that swam into my ken was Granules India. If you take a look at Granules, from a 52-week high of 123, the stock actually fell all the way up to around 80 rupees, and this was regards the promoters' pledge, which kept increasing. In fact, March, 41% of the promoters' stake was pledged, and December, that pledge increased to around 61%. On March 8th, though, the promoters sold 50 lakh shares in the market worth 50 crore rupees to de-pledge the shares, and they also announced an additional 50 crore worth personal selling of assets. The street liked that. So before the shares fell, the stock price was around 123. On the day during December, the stock fell to the lows of around 81, and as the promoters did go ahead and sold their shares along with announced selling of their personal assets to reduce the pledge, the street liked that, and the stock has recovered from 81 rupees to around 111 where it trades right now. And the most recent one took place yesterday, where Bajaj Consumer, the December shareholding was close to around 66.85%, and the pledge on their stake was around 70.4%. Understandably, they sold this 6.85% in yesterday's trading session, primarily to reduce a previous trading session, primarily to reduce the debt that they have in their other group company, which is Bajaj Hindustan. Because if you take a look at Bajaj Hindustan, their total debt is close to 5,600 crores. 9-month net loss has been around 310 crores, and the promoter holding in Bajaj Hindustan is just around 15%, of which 100% is pledged. So yes, promoters are looking at selling their family silver or the crown jewels in their entire group to offset the sort of problems that there are in other group companies.
So, so Prashant, just to add to what Mangalam said, the reason we did this data of looking at all the companies and where the actions have been taken, the fact is because some action has been seen, some promoters have gone ahead and committed that they're looking to sell some of the large assets to pay down the debt and the pledged shares. You look at, and probably that is the reason which explains the kind of rally you're seeing in the mid cap and small cap in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Clearly, there is a message that liquidity seems to be easing in the mid-cap and small-cap within the promoter group. And now with some action being done, a lot of the NBFCs are now willing to fund, these promoters in terms of taking action either to sell shares or to deplace the shares as well. So clearly, this is the first sign that, maybe the kind of panic we saw in the mid-cap and small-cap, that seems to be easing off now for the fact that some of the promoters have really started taking action and selling the jewelry, the company's jewel or the person's jewel to bring down the pledge share.
Nimesh, the disclosure happens at the end of the quarter, right? I mean,
yes.
Post the quarter end. So I think for the fourth quarter, we will know sometime in April. Because we know the data for, say, for example, BSE 500. I've seen some reports. BSE 500, the total amount of pledging, the number of companies which have pledged, was not very different from the quarter of September. But have things changed substantially for the better or for the worse? We'll know it in April for the quarter ending March.
Substantial change, intra-quarter, the companies do go ahead and inform the exchanges. Though, on a macro basis, very difficult to track individual companies in a situation like that.
But what intrigues me is why exactly the promoter shares are pledged. I mean, what is that other ancillary business that they have, which the promoters have, where they're putting in money, and how is that business doing? I mean, companies such as Apollo have not done it because of an ancillary business, neither has Granules. So we have clarifications from those. But the rest, for example, what kind of other business or promoter business do they have?
From broad brush, if you paint, most of those other businesses are in the infra / power-related sectors as well. So Emami, there is a fair amount of debt in their cement vertical, and you have SL Ventures also. They have a lot of infra.
For that matter, Jubilant promoters had an exposure into oil and gas space, and maybe the way they've been selling the stake in the group companies, essentially to pay off the debt in the power business.
Nimesh, Mangalam, thanks very much, both of you, for joining in. Though just one caveat, I think we've heard this from many guests, bankers, etc., as well, who've come over since we've started covering this issue. Pledging by itself doesn't necessarily mean that the company in question is in stress. It could be that the bankers want more comfort, so they want additional shares against loans already taken and that kind of thing. So I mean, you've got to really look at individual by individual case and take that call. We take a very quick break here. We'll come back and, as promised, we'll have that fundamental chat with Gurmeet Chadda on the other side. Coming back in 2.